Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the first 72 hours of a mental health crisis. And the article that I'm referencing, and I'll put a link to that in the description for the video, talks about what happens in Wisconsin. And so obviously here in Florida, we have the Baker Act, and you know my position on that. We file, I don't know, somewhere between 25 and 30 cases every month to get people out of Florida's draconian, broken mental health system. But most states, if not all of them, have a version of the Baker Act. So this is what happens in Wisconsin. But I think it is relevant because when the Baker Act is used correctly, it can be a powerful life-saving tool. The problem is that once you get into the system, it can be really difficult to get out. And most people don't realize that the Baker Act is not designed for treatment. It's designed for emergency crisis intervention only. And I get so many calls from people who either went to the courthouse and filed something to get a loved one Baker Acted, thinking they were going to get treatment, or they went to the emergency room to get help, or they went to, they called 211, and then things go south very quickly. But let's talk about Wisconsin. Most people don't plan for a mental health crisis, but millions will experience one this year, often with no clear idea where to turn. It shows up during moments of loss, stress, illness, or major life changes. When it does, the first few days can feel overwhelming, emotional, and urgent. In 2025, 28 million adults with a mental illness did not receive any mental health treatment, highlighting the urgent need for clearer, faster paths to care. Navigation is key, and what happens in the first 72 hours can make a real difference. You're not alone. The first 72 hours can shape what comes next. During this time, the focus is on three essentials: reducing immediate risk, calming emotional distress, and connecting people to next step care. Sounds wonderful. I wonder if it actually works in reality. Certainly doesn't here in Florida. Waiting makes a crisis worse, even when people think they're overreacting. The primary reason people don't seek help right away is uncertainty. Is this serious enough? Reduce risk before taking next steps, making long-term decisions. Families often feel pressure to, quote, fix everything quickly. But in the early days of a mental health crisis, reducing risk comes first. There's no wrong door to get help. Maybe not in Wisconsin. Many people assume that a mental health crisis automatically means a long emergency room visit. In reality, support can start in many ways, and there's no wrong door. The first 72 hours are the beginning, not the end. We've made real progress in talking about mental health, but talking about it isn't the same as accessing care. Okay, I'll let you read this for yourself. But here in Florida, the Baker Act is an absolute mess. And, we made a bunch of changes 2 years ago to the statute, and they didn't fix the one thing that needed to be fixed, which was that once you get Baker Acted, nobody actually even knows you're there. There's no oversight. So when you get Baker Acted, which is a statute that allows the state to basically grab you and take custody of you, and now you're a ward of the state, which effectively terminates your right to make medical and mental health decisions for yourself, right? You're stuck in this facility. Even if you have somebody else who's designated as a healthcare proxy, they're out the game too. That healthcare proxy is not worth the paper it's written on once the Baker Act steps in. I mean, it sounds nice, and I've said before that if you think that by having a power of attorney and a healthcare proxy, you can stop the state from stepping into your life, you're wrong. Okay, you're seriously wrong. Now, if you've got a healthcare proxy, great. Sounds good, but what do we need to do with it? You got to go into court and enforce the rights that have apparently been given to you by the person who's now been Baker Acted. And it may or may not help to resolve the issue, but the bottom line here is that if someone's been illegally Baker Acted, whether there's a healthcare proxy or not, you got to go into court. You got to bring this to the attention of a judge, because if you don't, then nobody knows you're there. And the facility, and even if they are private and for profit, is a licensed agent of the state's mental health system. They can do whatever they want with you. Literally, they can forcibly medicate you. They can file to keep you. I mean, it's real insanity. It's really crazy stuff. So, sounds like it works very nicely in Wisconsin. I wonder if in in the real world. If it does, if you know a loved one, or you've been involved in Wisconsin's mental health system or any other state's mental health system, let me know. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are. But if you've got somebody who's in crisis, there's only a couple of ways that you can address that. Number one, can they help themselves? As a general rule, the answer to that is no. Most people who are in the midst of a long-standing mental health crisis are in denial. It's as if their brain had been hijacked, right? Somebody came along, took their brain, and hijacked it, kidnapped it, whatever word you want to use. So they can't help themselves. The other way is the state can step in, right? And the state can step in two ways: the criminal justice system, because people do get arrested, and the Baker Act system, the mental health system. The state will step in and gladly, lock your loved one up in a county facility, or worse, a state hospital. Talk about one flew over the cuckoo's nest. I've had a couple of those calls from state hospitals. I mean, it's an insane asylum, literally. Or the family can step in. What does that look like? It means using the guardianship process, not for elderly people, but for people with behavioral health issues. And, I will tell you, I've got a brilliant wife, and she literally wrote the book on how to use guardianship for these kinds of issues. So if you're a family out there and you've got somebody who's sick, who can't make the decision to save themselves, you're tired of the chaos, you're tired of trying to get them into treatment, you're tired of trying to get them to take medications that have been prescribed to them, and you want to have a conversation with us, please reach out. We'd like to talk to you about what options may or may not be available to you. And if there's an issue going on in your family and I've not made a video, let me know. I will make you a video, because this content that I put out every day is about giving you information so you can decide, are you ready to take action? If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm. It helps us to get more information out to more people, so we can help more people, so we can make a bigger dent in the universe and make a real difference. One last thing. I put a link to our new ebook. I wrote a book all about the Marchman Act. And if you click on the link, you just need to put your name, your email in, and we'll send you a link where you can download it for free. So there's 9 chapters, and each chapter has a video where I'm walking you through the process. So please, this is all for you, okay? I'm not making any money out of this thing. So click on the link. And if you want more of this content that I make every day, please subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.